Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. Let's zip around some headlines, okay? This is an old photograph. It is of Chris Larsen, of course, the CEO of Ripple. It was when he was in Tokyo almost a year ago to the date. He's standing next to the very young CEO of CoinCheck. I think he was only 22 at this time, but they were making the announcement that CoinCheck was listing XRP as one of the digital assets on the exchange. And now, 2 years later, after the hack that took place in January and the company Monex has taken over, we finally learn CoinCheck is going to reintroduce some of the services to the customers in Japan. So you can open new accounts, you can make deposits, and finally, it's to a point where I feel a lot of relief. It was really a painful experience. I knew a lot of people who were affected by this hack. Okay. Sticking with Chris Larsen, today, Money 2020 Las Vegas uploaded about a 5-minute interview where he was posed to answer some questions. And the takeaway I took from what he had to say was these 2 points. He believes that blockchain is the completion of globalization, and also that the top major cryptos will be part of a second tier of currencies alongside the dollar, the yen, the renminbi, and the euro, for example. I'll put the link to that interview down in the comment section below should you want to listen to it. Okay, here is a surprising story, I think, for you. Today, just a few hours ago, we learned that Amazon and Western Union are going to launch a new way to pay. Now, for customers in certain locations, and it doesn't say what the select countries are, at least we don't know yet, they will be able to purchase on Amazon and pay in person in their local currency through the Western Union agent network. Okay, so I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel strongly, and I'll explain why. So customers in these select countries will be offered a new payment option on the Amazon checkout page. Shoppers will be sent a code and the instructions on how to make a payment at a participating Western Union agent location. And then Western Union also, the platform will also power the process for cash refunds and product returns should the buyer need to do that. All right, so let's think about this for a second. These people who need this option, I agree, it's great to give them an option because there are people who want to buy on Amazon, but for whatever reason, they probably don't have a bank account, or they don't have a Visa card or a debit card. And in these select countries, maybe it's not so easy to get a prepaid Visa card like we can do in many countries that have that availability. So I don't know the select countries, but I can bet you that Western Union is not going to pay that transfer fee. And I'm just sure Amazon's not going to pick up the tab of what it costs to send that money. So it just doesn't sit well with me that the people who are probably in the least capable position financially to pay those extra charges are going to get stuck with those extra charges of sending the money. Because if Western Union is not using Ripple and the XRP as a bridge to save costs, and I don't think, unless there's a new announcement coming, I think that the people who are shopping on Amazon in these select countries are going to end up ultimately paying more money for these products. And there just is something that doesn't sit right with me on this. So I'm really curious how this story hits you. And if you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section. I'm curious. Okay, moving along. IDAX, they are an exchange out of Mongolia, and they announced that they are listing XRP. So slowly, location by location, the liquidity is improving all over the globe. And this is a funny story. Actually, Janet Yellen was in Canada a couple of days ago, and she was caught on somebody's cell phone, I'm sure without her permission, was talking about Bitcoin. She said she's not a fan. And she's not a fan because she believes that it provides financing for terrorists. All the things we used to hear like 2 or 3 years ago. Money laundering was a concern of hers. She doesn't think it's stable. I don't know. I don't think she's checked lately. It's been pretty stable. Difficulties of a breakdown? I don't know what she's talking about there. She does cite the energy cost as troubling. The secrecy is a problem, and she worries about cyber attacks. Now, the funny thing is at the end of her, or towards the end of this 5-minute talk, her tone totally changes when she talks about a digital currency, however, made by the Federal Reserve. Well, that could be a different situation. I thought to myself, well, all the things you cite for not being a fan of Bitcoin, why does it all of a sudden change when the Federal Reserve issues it? So anyway, we all know why, but I just found it funny. Now, that's not the funniest part of this story. Here's the funniest part of that story. The owner and creator of this site, which is called Bitarica, is a place that with just somebody's email, you can send them Bitcoin. And so the owner of the site then used Janet Yellen's Berkeley University email address and sent her some Bitcoin. So she is officially now a holder of BTC. I think it's pretty funny. I think he only sent her about $20 worth, but made me laugh. Okay. Okay, one last story. This is interesting. Morgan Stanley came out with a new report, and in their report, they state that crypto is now an institutional asset class. So the report they did is just really, I give it an A+. It's fantastic. Not only do they give you all the links to their sources of coming up with all this, but you can see, I'm just going to flip really quick here so you can see how extensive it is with lots of graphs, lots of information. It's probably one of the best summaries I have ever seen on Bitcoin and the whole entire crypto space. They talk about the last 6 months in particular, the fall of ICOs. They cover stable coins. They look at the institutional investors coming into the space, also the institutional investor announcements as of late, looks at banking and the use of blockchain, and regulation by sector. So I just think that if you're one of those that like to have a lot of stats and a lot of facts and figures, this is really a great piece of work, 65 pages. So I'll put a link to this in the comment section as well. Okay, we are jumping to fluff. So I got a lot of comments about how people love to see the fall leaves. And we are in that season. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. This is a very classic fall view scene in Japan. But if you come to Tokyo in the fall, you might see something that surprises you. The city here in Tokyo has an enormous number of ginkgo trees. It is kind of the tree of Tokyo. If you go to Kyoto, you're going to see a lot of willow tree. But for Tokyo, you see lots of these ginkgo. And the ginkgo are a tree that, of course, produces the ginkgo nut, but it is a tree that loses its leaves in the fall. And when they do fall, they are golden yellow and create just this beautiful carpet of golden yellow throughout Tokyo. It's really, really pretty. And so if you come to Tokyo actually, it doesn't happen for about another month. Just at the very end of November is when it begins to fall. You'll find it so beautiful. It's very enjoyable. So I always look forward to this season because the city looks so pretty when it's covered in all these yellow leaves. Okay, everybody, that's all for you today. So please take care and sayonara for now. Bye-bye.